All right, guys. Base Muslim, base Fula, whatever you want to call me, Fula man, aka Blue Hefner, aka the one that feminists, misandrists, pro-blacks, pan-Africanists, liberals, progressive Muslims, nominal Muslims, um, Wahhabi Muslims love to hate. Now, I've been looking at this World Cup. Everybody knows that I'm a avid soccer fan or football fan, wherever you want to call it. This is a sport that I grew up with. This is a sport I grew up playing, and it was always part of my thing. I have family right now in abroad who are playing. I have nephews who are in the beginning stages of their career when it comes to the football. So, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about the World Cup and the double standards about um, the West and the Western agenda, who I really don't know who is at the helm of this Western agenda. But, for better or for worse, we're not going to get into the fact that Qatar, um, you know, we're not going to get into the fact that Qatar maybe has done some shady things in the past. Um, and we need to really get into, we really need to get into, what we really need to get into is basically, we need to get into the fact that the West is trying to usher in these new ideas into Qatar and into a lot of places in terms of enlightenment. You know, that's what they're trying to do, but at the same time, these places didn't ask for those things. Okay, so you have a lot of these Western media sources, and you also have a lot of these woke people, including feminists, who are up in arms um, with Qatar for their decision to not have scantily clad women, um, you know, alphabet soup flags, things of that nature. One, I guess what happened was there was one guy who actually ran out on the field with the alphabet soup flag. You know what I mean? Um, so it's kind of dumb. Um, it, it's kind of really ridiculous for them to try to uh impose their ways on you know on this nation. Now the thing is this: the fact that women are allowed to even attend is a good thing. It's just that women aren't allowed to attend in scantily clad outfits, like how maybe they are, um how they are, you know accepted in other World Cups. So you have this smear campaign against, and and my thing is this: like, why are you trying to spread this so much? So, like, if you were happy with it in your place, like your place of origin, just stay happy with it in your place of origin and stop trying to spread it so much. It makes no sense to me. Like, okay, please tell me, what is the point in you trying to spread this dogma in a traditional society that didn't ask for this dogma? Sure, they're hosting the World Cup, But that's where this stays. Now, I want you to listen to something that I came across.
Women are mistreated because they are better treated. If you're following Qatar World Cup drama, this girl is shocked about the ladies only line. She doesn't think it makes her feel very special. It's a security line that's only for women. They're separated by men and women, not because women are mistreated, because they are better treated. As an American female living in the Middle East myself, I prefer these lines. When I go places, I am moved either, if there's not a women's only line, I'm typically moved to the front of the line, especially if I have my children. There's also parking that's just for women, and it's usually the closest to the door. And as well, the metro lines, there's a women's only cart. Everything over here on this side of the world in the Middle East, I'm in Dubai, women are treated with so much more respect. I'm from Texas. When I go places here, I feel safer 100%. I will die on this.
So it's my final night here in Qatar for the World Cup. I wish I planned this better. That way I could have gone to more games than just one. Because all the stadiums, they're all within an hour of each other. And I've met people that are going to like 16, 13 games and they've only spent like $1,400. But don't believe the media. This place is beautiful. The people are nice. The accommodations are great. The hospitality has been phenomenal. So, and I just gotta say, with all the controversy, this has been a really well put tournament.
So there's a couple of things, with that in regards. So you look at the liberal section, and here's what liberals say. Here's what liberals say about what Qatar has done. Or actually, here's someone who's actually telling the truth. Let's listen to him real quick.
Western football fans attending the World Cup in Qatar are being forced to remove rainbow-coloured hats before entering stadiums. Grant Wall complained on Twitter about being forced by stadium security to remove an LGBT t-shirt. Here's that attention you ordered, but in a tweet that has received over 600,000 likes, a prominent Qatari responded, "As a Qatari, I'm proud of what happened. I don't know when will the Westerners realise their values aren't universal. There are other cultures with different values that should be equally respected. Let's not forget that the West is not the spokesperson for humanity." Yeah, this is definitely not a banal spat about t-shirts, hats and flags, is it? You're actually seeing once again the clash and incompatibility of two different religions, Islam and LGBT. And yes, LGBT is now a religion. It's advanced so far from just being a lifestyle choice. Our cities are routinely festooned with rainbow flags, like something akin to the celebration of a monarch or the advent of a religious festival. Heretics who question the religion of the alphabet people are publicly shamed and cancelled. People who try to protect children from being exposed to some of the aspects of the indoctrination of this religion or vilified. It's a religion, and its church is our streets, our daily environment, our schools, our media, our culture. The iconography of this belief system is thrust in our faces everywhere we turn. So when they attempt to export that religion to a country like Qatar, which is having none of it, they're suddenly apoplectic and baffled that the Qataris don't just immediately cave in. Now, of course, gay people shouldn't be thrown in prison like they are in Qatar. The choices made between consenting adults in their own private lives should be tolerated. But tolerance is very different from promotion. But Qatar is abusing their human rights. It's not your human right to demand that every venue, every event, every country supports and amplifies your values. Qatar refuses to allow the World Cup, which is being hosted in their country, to be used as a vehicle to promote LGBT. And why should they? You can accuse them of corruption, mistreating migrant workers, all manner of things. But you can't expect them to just embrace and accept woke imperialism when they see it as a threat to their culture and their religion. Should foreigners visiting Qatar be expected to respect the culture, customs and religion of Qatar? Yes. Do individuals from Qatar and the Middle East in general visiting European countries?
So this is the thing that we, especially us Africans, this is the stance we have to take. And, while my political influence is very small, when I do go back to Guinea Bissau and Senegal and Cabo Verde, I'm actually going to suggest that we kick out, especially that we kick out female tourists who want to engage in sex tourism and want to engage in lewd behavior. That I want to take the stand that if we find these tourists, that we kick them out of the country immediately. That's kind of the stance that I would like to take. Because when a country allows certain things to happen, yeah, you're kind of just letting yourself be defeated. So with Qatar, they're not letting it happen. And despite the smear campaigns from the West, they're still not letting it happen. And I am of the opinion that we should do the same thing. I kind of have that opinion that we should actually engage in the same exact thing. That we should not let these things happen. That we should actually take the same stance that Qatar is taking. The problem is that Qatar is kind of self-sufficient because of the petrodollars. That's the problem that we may face in developing African countries because we're not self-sufficient. So I think Qatar is smart because they see what's happening in the West. They know that in the West, women are riding the rooster carousel. When you check TikTok, all you see is single mothers. When you check TikTok, you don't see people getting married. When you check every social media outlet, it's the same story. And they don't want their society to become that. And so us who are immigrants, we have the responsibility to do the same thing with our respective countries. So kudos to Qatar for doing this. Now, I want to get into something else. I know this is going to be a long video, but I want to get into a couple of things. Okay. I want to read something and get into this and let this be the and let this be a signal in a conversation for us to really engage in. Okay? Because this, of course, is in relation to the passport bros. Okay?
Bonjour, je voulais d'abord dire.
This is the thing. This is in relation to the passport bros. And this has to also do with, I guess you can say, African geopolitics as well. I'm going to kind of talk about it, get into it a little bit. So, the Moroccan president, right? Or the Moroccan coach who was successful in beating Spain on penalty shootouts, and inshallah will be successful beating Portugal on hopefully by winning by scoring goals, no penalties, inshallah. Inshallah, Allah will give them tawfiq, in winning the game. But he said this. He said, I'm not here to be a politician. We represent Morocco. We're also African like Senegal, Ghana, Cameroon. So we fly the flag of African football high. So, in relation to the passport bros, and I'm talking about the Muslim ones, while Latin America may be like appealing, Morocco should not be overlooked. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a few things and the reason why it shouldn't be overlooked. Now, this guy right here that I'm about to show you, he is a Nigerian politician who practices polygamy. One of his wives left because of the polygamy, but he replaced her with her. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but his name is Abubakar Atiku, and he has a Moroccan wife. Now, my cousin, may Allah preserve him, did the same thing. He has a Moroccan wife. Last but not least, the Barcelona player, Ousmane Dembele. Hold on just a minute. Let me pull it up. So Ousmane Dembele, who is of Morocco, who is of Malian descent, and I believe he has Mauritanian blood as well. He did the same thing. He married a Moroccan woman. Last but not least, let me pull up one more. Pull up one more real quick. Just give me a second. Give me 1 second. So this guy, Mahmoudou Sakho, another French player of Senegalese descent, he married a Moroccan woman. So what I'm trying to say is this. There is indeed in North Africa, I'm not going to deny it, there is anti-blackness in North Africa. I'm not going to deny the fact, okay? But I'm not going to make an excuse for it either. But I think what that anti-blackness lies from is the fact that these migrants who are crossing the waters are economically disenfranchised, right? So if you come there as a man who has some financial mobility, then I don't think you're going to have that same problem. I know another brother who went there and he found his Moroccan wife. He gets along well with his father-in-law and the like thereof in that family. He loves it, actually. Mind you, this brother used to be involved in God knows what. Okay. That brother was, when I say he was from the set, he was from the set. Okay. But even him, who would be considered, but this is my Muslim brother, I love him. But if you know him back in the day, you would call this dude a Pookie. For sure you would call him a Pookie, okay? But even him, he was able to find a Moroccan woman. Now, I'm not suggesting that we all go there in drones and stuff like that, just looking for that purpose. But if you have something that can create some economic mobility, you will get the better part of the deal. And that's a submissive woman who probably is not going to be westernized, and who it will be better for you to leave in that part of the world, and it should work out for you. It should really work out for you. So what I'm saying is this, okay? What I'm saying is this, is that as a Muslim, and I'm going to end this video, as a Muslim, you're kind of at an advantage, because if you go to these places, like if you go to Morocco, Algeria, these places, then the Islam is going to bring people together. Okay? But also the fact that if you're well-to-do in these places, your options are going to be more open versus you being well-to-do in this place in the West, and your options are next to none because you're dealing with imbalanced pHs, rooster carousel rides. Oh, I need a man who has some bodies on his thing. I am going to really stand by my guns and keep my holster loaded by saying there are no good Western women available for you. I'm really convinced of that, and there's nothing nobody can say, and there's not even anything a Western woman can do to turn me around otherwise. There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing. Okay? So with that being said, shout outs to Morocco. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you guys something tomorrow in which a Moroccan woman took it upon herself to send me, Now, I want to say one more thing, though. Now, the secular North Africans will have a problem with it. And you're seeing that problem play out in France. Because the North African women are leaning towards black African men in drones. You see that happening, but their parents don't want it to happen. Because of the simple fact that when you look at the situation, unfortunately in France, like sub-Saharan Africans are a lot of times economically disenfranchised unless they play soccer or unless they're musical artists, right? Or unless they're some kind of other athlete. If they're involved in some kind of other sport of some sort, then of course they're going to be able to have their pick of the litter. But with that being said, there's some things to take from this. And let's just take these things and apply it to what we need to do. I'm talking to people who are immigrants, talking to people who understand the power of this imperialist machine that they're trying to spread worldwide, that we need to stop from spreading. I'm sorry, but I don't want a 304 culture in West Africa. I don't want a 304 culture in North Africa. I don't want a 304 culture in Russia. You know, I don't want it in these places. So I think we're obligated to keep it from happening. Because at this point, I have conditioned myself, I have trained myself to be able to be a loner and be able to function without having female contact, because of the simple fact that most of these females out here are damaged goods, and they are they play games about the body count, about the pH. I'll give you one story. Luckily, I dodged this bullet by a long shot. I was freaking Neo and Matrix dodging these bullets. But there was this one woman. She was a stripper. And my homeboy, he actually told me, yeah, she says she wants to sleep with you. And I said, nah, it's okay. I'll pass, you know. I said, I'm good, I'll pass. I find out a week later she had chlamydia. So, with that being said, stay alert, stay prayed up, and I'll be back with another one. It's SYSMB. Save yourself, Muslim brother. And I'm out until the next one. Njad Allah.